Hey, what is up guys? It's me, Anthony, and if you notice, it looks kind of weird on here, but that is just going to be temporary. I gotta do some things here, you know, some of the lights got messed up, so I'm using just regular lights, and you know, my hair's all messed up, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on, but I wanted to give you guys this review of Lightyear. I went to go see it a couple of days ago now as of this recording, and I just had to gather my thoughts because there's just a lot to talk about. Lightyear tells the story of, who else? Buzz Lightyear and his origin of how he became the space cadet that we all know and love. But not really, because this is the actual story of the actual Buzz Lightyear, but not the actual Buzz Lightyear. I'll explain that later. So like I said, this is the origin story of Buzz Lightyear, but it's not really at the same time, because in the beginning of this film, I don't think this would be a spoiler to tell you guys this, because they kind of hinted, if you watch the Toy Story films, they kind of already hinted that Buzz Lightyear is not real. Okay, he's based off of a TV show, I believe they said in Toy Story, but in this one they say it's a movie. Andy went to go see a movie and it was called Lightyear, and this is the movie that we're watching. So we're basically watching a movie within a movie. Very meta of you, Pixar. And again, if you guys haven't known already, I like Toy Story. I got a Buzz Lightyear, you know, toy behind me. I do have a Woody doll, but he lost his hat, so I didn't feel right to display him, you know. So, but I like Toy Story. I love, actually, not like is a understatement. I love Toy Story. I think all four films are a masterpiece. You know, I don't throw that word around lightly, but I think they are. They hold a very special place in my heart. But I remember going to the theater and seeing the Toy Story for the first time, you know, first opening weekend, watching it on the big screen and just being wowed as a young kid. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And, you know, going home and trying to see if my toys would come to life. And, you know, still to this day, I kind of am like just looking at my toys, just like, I almost got you, almost got you. But even with that said, when they announced this Buzz Lightyear or Lightyear movie, I wasn't really like that excited, or I wasn't like jumping out of my seat like I need to see this. Now, if they announced the Toy Story 5, then that would be a different story. But I was willing to go see it because, you know, I want to support Pixar, one of my favorite companies, and I just wanted to support, you know, the Toy Story franchise. I don't think a lot of people agree with me in this sentiment, because apparently, you know, this is probably one of the worst, I've seen like the worst performing Pixar films / Disney films to release in theaters in a long time. I'm sure there's like a whole bunch of different factors, you know. We are in like an economic struggle right now, so, you know, people are like pinching pennies and everything. But then again, you can say like, you know, that didn't explain why, you know, Top Gun is like blowing up records and Jurassic World Dominion is still at the top of the box office. So there is something other than like economic struggles that people are having that are preventing them, or like, you know, making them think twice that they don't want to see Buzz Lightyear in the theaters. Now, I've seen many theories of why that is, you know, maybe because people are been conditioned, you know, by Disney already for just like, oh, it's a Pixar film, it's just going to be releasing on Disney Plus, so I'll just wait for that. I don't know if that's the case that, you know, that's happening, but go support Buzz Lightyear. I mean, if anything is, you know, you can see my cat Tangerine in there playing Socks the cat. Right, Tangerine? Right. But back to what I think about Buzz Lightyear. Did I like it? Did I hate it? I thought it was pretty good. The animation alone is probably the biggest sell for me, because Jesus Christ, I thought some of the stuff was real at one point, because especially like the lens flare stuff, you know, I thought J.J. Abrams was directing this for a minute. The animation in general is off the chart, and I feel like I say this every time I watch a Pixar film, but they outdo themselves every film, and it looks better and better, and this one's no exception. Like I said, the lighting, especially in this film, is phenomenal. I also really like the characters. We get a lot of colorful cast in here, you know, sprinkle a little bit of backstory for Buzz Lightyear, his best friend, you know, all that kind of stuff, the Star Command, all that stuff. They do give us a little bit of hints and like Easter eggs and callbacks from like the movie, the Toy Story films, you know, where he's like, Star Command, you know, why don't they answer? That stuff's funny. You know, they also talk about like, you're a sad little man and all that stuff. It's really, really funny and really cool as a person that grew up with the Toy Story films. You know, you catch those little things and I'm like, ha, I'm old, I know about that stuff. But I also got to say, I think that this movie is probably the most action-packed like Pixar film that I've seen, other than the Incredible films. You know, most Pixar films have like that little action sequence that kind of comes out of nowhere. This one, you're kind of expecting it because it's a Lightyear film, so you know, it's Buzz Lightyear, he has a freaking laser, and he's gonna use it at one point. But most times in Pixar films, like a movie Up, you didn't think there was gonna be a big action sequence. You know, spoilers if you haven't seen that movie, but there is in there. And this one by far has some of the best action sequence that I've seen in not only a Pixar film, but in any movie that I've seen at least this year. But with even all the, you know, praise that I have for this film, and the, you know, the coolness of the animation, and the characters are lovable and exciting. You know, Socks is probably like stealing the show with his cuteness and his weirdness. But there's one thing. There's one thing that really just like makes me feel kind of weird about this movie. It's just the storytelling. It just felt kind of weird for me and kind of off, you know? I don't really want to go into it too much because it pretty much is a spoiler for this film, but just the way that they, you know, go for the storyline, they just go for it. And, you know, props to them for sticking to their guns and going full throttle with the storyline. It just kind of felt weird to me. I didn't feel like it fit the Buzz Lightyear character. And again, I know this is just an origin story, so you can argue that the reason why he, you know, goes with this storyline, with this plot point, is to eventually become the Buzz Lightyear that we know and love today. And yeah, I agree with that. I can get that, but you know, I got feelings too, and it just made me feel kind of weird. There is also a big reveal for the character Zurg, you know, the arch nemesis of Buzz Lightyear that we've come to know and love. And we initially had, you know, our own theories on like what is Zurg and, you know, all that stuff. But this one, if you really took that seriously, you know, mentioned in Toy Story, you're gonna probably be mad about this. I personally was just like, huh, that's interesting, that's different. And that is a part of the storytelling problem that I have with this film. I don't have a problem with the reveal of Zurg, you know, no spoilers again. I don't have a problem with that. I do have a problem with some of the explanations that they have of Zurg's backstory. And yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe, you know, I've seen some theories out there that they're building up to something different, but just for me as a person sitting here just thinking, you know, this is going to be just one and done movie, it doesn't really sit well with me. But even with all that said, you know, all the little tiny gripes that I have with the film, I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was fun. I thought it was action-packed. I thought it was really good to look at. And it's a Pixar film, so you're gonna get the little, you know, jokes in there, the inside jokes that only the older people know. And now that I'm older, you know, I always was that kid in the theater watching the Pixar films, and my mom was like, I know that joke because I'm old. And now I can say the same thing because I am old too now, and I know I get those jokes, I get those references. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember guys, keep watching movies.